Welcome, fellow adventurers, to the incredible, often bewildering, saga of Emeka and his quest to build a house. Now Emeka, bless his heart, was a creature of habit. His life was a well-oiled machine of predictable routines and sensible decisions. He was the kind of person who color-coded his socks and ironed his shoelaces. Then, one fateful day, a wild idea took root in his perfectly organized mind. He would build his own house. Yes, a house. What started as a seemingly straightforward endeavor quickly spiraled into a series of chaotic, laugh-out-loud adventures. This wasn't just a construction project. It was a full-blown comedy show starring Emeka as the reluctant, mud-splattered protagonist. He became, against his will, the unwitting comedian of construction. Every nail hammered, every beam lifted, seemed to invite a new, hilarious mishap. His journey from homeowner to be to construction site clown was truly legendary. The very first hurdle in Emeka's grand architectural odyssey was securing the perfect plot of land. He spent weeks, nay, months, traversing dusty roads and overgrown fields. He was on a relentless search for that ideal patch of earth. Finally, after countless dead ends and questionable real estate listings, he found it. A seemingly idyllic plot, nestled amongst some rather mature trees. Little did he know, those trees held a secret. The acquired plot was absolutely riddled with stubborn, ancient tree roots. These weren't just roots. They were subterranean anacondas, coiled and ready to defend their territory. Emeka, ever the optimist, armed himself. He borrowed a chainsaw, a beast of a machine that hummed with menacing intent. He approached the root removal with a naive optimism that could only be described as adorable. He truly believed this would be a quick, satisfying job. He plunged into battle, a lone warrior against an army of gnarled, woody tentacles. He wrestled with the extensive tree roots, grunting and straining with every cut. It was a full-body workout he hadn't signed up for. He emerged from the task hours later, covered head to toe in mud, sweat, and a fine layer of sawdust. He looked less like a prospective homeowner and more like a grizzled lumberjack who'd just survived a bear attack. Then, in a moment of pure defiance, the chainsaw kicked back with a vengeance. It bucked and roared, sending Emeka sprawling. The incident left him with a memorable scar, a badge of honor from his first skirmish. From that day forward, Emeka developed a healthy, almost reverent respect for power tools. He learned that chainsaws, much like toddlers, demand your undivided attention and a firm hand. With the land somewhat tamed, the next critical stage was laying the foundation. Emeka, still riding the high of his root-clearing triumph, was convinced he could manage the foundation work himself. How hard can concrete be? He mused. He watched YouTube tutorials with an intense fervor, absorbing every tip and trick. He paused, rewound, and rewatched, convinced he was mastering the ancient art of concrete pouring. He was practically a digital apprentice. The outcome, however, was not quite the architectural masterpiece he envisioned. What he produced was a lopsided concrete slab. It was a testament to his enthusiasm, if not his engineering prowess. The slab resembled a modern art installation gone wonderfully, hilariously wrong. It had undulations and slopes that would make a skateboarder weep with joy, but a builder scratch their head in confusion. He had to swallow his pride, a bitter pill indeed, and call in a professional. The concrete expert arrived, took one look at Emeka's masterpiece, and promptly burst into hearty laughter. It was a laugh that echoed across the construction site. The professional, once he composed himself, patiently explained the importance of levels and proper reinforcement. He spoke of rebar and plumb lines as if they were sacred texts. Emeka listened, humbled. The framing stage presented its own unique set of challenges. Emeka, undeterred by his concrete misadventure, decided to tackle the wooden skeleton of his future home. He was ready to build. He worked with a hammer and a collection of mismatched nails, some bent, some rusty, all acquired from various forgotten corners of his garage. It was a truly eclectic assortment of fasteners. He spent days wrestling with lumber, trying to coax straight lines from stubbornly warped planks. He measured twice, cut once, and still ended up with pieces that were mysteriously too short or too long. He constructed walls that leaned precariously as if perpetually contemplating a nap. They had a certain rustic charm if you considered rustic to mean about to fall over. He installed windows that were slightly off-kilter, giving the house a perpetually surprised expression. One might even say they offered a unique, slightly tilted perspective on the world. And then there was the roof. Oh, the roof. Emeka built a roof that appeared to be perpetually contemplating a nap, its angles more suggestive of a sleepy eyebrow than a sturdy shelter. It was a truly artistic interpretation of a roof.